My name is Dennis Murphy. The accent is Canadian. Most of my career was in the national security side, having been director of counterterrorism, having run counterintelligence, support to military operations, border security, organized crime, as well as the other side of my career would be in the stakeholder management side. So having been director of partnerships, having been embedded in the UK at GCHQ for 6 years, and I found very quickly that it translates easily into the private sector space. So decisions for me are easy in the context of they should always be made upon whatever those organizational priorities are, right? And that's certainly the approach that I always took. And then, everything will cascade down from that with respect to kind of how the operational elements or the employee base, or even more corporately, how the organization should function. Because as long as you take your lead from that, functionality comes easier. So that's how I would kind of approach that. I think every leader has that responsibility, that empowerment. So it goes to making sure that the organizational support is there from the employees. So making sure that they've got all the mechanisms that they need to perform the jobs that we're asking them to do, as well as, allowing them to fail. Maybe not so much in the time of crises, but I was always big at, kind of pushing my employees. So I like that, pushing a boundary space and making sure that they had everything that they needed to do to be creative. The younger generation, see these, the analysts and whatnot, the technical specialists, the linguists that I had, they had a different view, and I embraced that, right? And because I had my view, because I'm of a different generation. So I felt that I could impart the knowledge and wisdom that I had, and they could benefit from that, but I learned as much. So as much as I was trying to empower them, they were empowering me. I think it's making sure that you're operating against whatever that priority is, right? Because there can be a lot of white noise in and around what you're being asked to do. As long as you're focusing in on what is the corporate priority, keep them in that mindset, as well as making sure that you're taking away any additional responsibilities that they really don't need. So they should be allowing me as that next level down executive to be making the other decisions, right? So they can focus on what's important. They don't need to be worrying about resources or other things. That's my responsibility. It's no different in a private sector organization, right? You have to have that faith and trust as that top table that those below you are going to be doing that and allow you to focus on what you need to worry about, because they also have taskmasters that they have to respond to. So for me, it was making sure that I took the weight off their shoulders, that I kept them very focused on the prize, right? We're being asked to do X, focus on X. Don't worry about anything else. You can be assured that everyone below you is doing their jobs as required. More often than not, we succeeded. Yeah, I think there's different mechanisms. I think it's the support structure that they require. So whether it's myself or whether it's a peer or whether it's a senior or a junior who has a decision to make and they've hit a bit of a rut, my greatest advice is always take that deliberate pause, step back. So I did that more often than not, especially in the event of a crisis, because more often, if you don't, you tend to focus on the immediacy, what's in front of you, and you're not considering more strategically what could come or what are the broader concerns or possibilities. So it was always that, stop, step away, look down upon the problem. Don't try to take it on all yourself. I would always more opt for that kind of teamwork approach, that ability to kind of, that individual who was stuck could go to whether that's immediate peers or a broader group to start bouncing ideas, concerns, suggestions. That will get you unstuck, right? If you take that kind of collaborative approach, I think you'll succeed as opposed to trying to do it individually.